Hey guys, Flute Ninja here. Well, I think it's already about time I did this list. As you can be really telling by these days going on, I've been really lazy because I forgot about making this list after I talked about the worst Mavericks in the Megaman X series. So, without further ado, now it's time we take a look at the opposite. If you guys remember a couple months ago, I did a top 15 worst Mega Man X Mavericks, and today we're going to be talking about the complete opposite. Here we're going to be talking about my 15 favorite Mavericks from the Mega Man X series. Same rules as apply, at least one Maverick from each game, only Mavericks that give you weapons, and no Mavericks from Command Mission. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 15, Splash Roarfly from Mega Man X7. Alright guys, you all know how terrible Mega Man X7 was due to its piss poor camera, poor graphics, bland music, and just overall terrible voice acting. And it's just an overall terrible game. However, there's that old saying that you have to give credit where credit is due, and I can easily say that Splash Roarfly is easily the best Maverick in the game. Now, considering that his first name is Splash, you may think it's just like an ordinary water level, and a terrible one at that, like Duff McWhalen. Well, it turns out, it's not a water level. Instead, you get to take on a battleship, and it's kind of nice for him to do a change at an ordinary water level. It has some good movements, some really lazy mini-bosses, but as cheap as the enemy placements go, I really find the stage really enjoyable. This fight is really good too, because at least he gets some warning to know what attack he's going to be using, and at least he doesn't have a pain-awful voice like the other Mavericks do. At least his voice is at least decent. However, one problem that I do have with it is that his weapons are kind of useless. I never use them again unless it's against Flame Hyanard, because in all honesty, it's just a water non-hurtable weapon, and for me, that just doesn't work for me. But like I said, Splash Roarfly for me is easily my favorite Maverick in X7. And he's the only one on this list. Number 14, Commander Yanmark from Mega Man X6. Now, I don't really enjoy dragonflies as much as other people do, but I really like Commander Yanmark's design being based off a dragonfly. However, one problem that keeps him this low is the stage. While it can have some good music and really enjoyable by others, I just cannot stand it. For one, the dragonfly enemies, you know, the one that shoot out like the blades, no matter how many times you kill them, they will just respawn again and again and again and again. And two, there's that leap of faith shit. Oh god, that part where you have to make a leap of faith. However, his fight kind of makes up for it. Now, as you kind of guessed by his name, Commander Yanmark can command an army of dragonflies to attack you. And once you defeat him, you get a really cool weapon. It's basically like some sort of shield, but not really. You basically get 3 dragonflies, and you can make them shoot when you say shoot. Like you're commanding them. Hence the name, Commander Yanmark. Well, at least I can accept this stage over the other ones from X7. But Commander Yanmark's not my favorite Mega Man X6 Maverick. Nope. We're saving that for a later candidate. Number 13, Burn Dino Rex, aka Matrix from Mega Man X5. Okay, now this is where things are really starting to look really awesome. Now, I just want to get one thing out of the way first before I move on. After replaying the X series, I no longer consider X4 to be my favorite. Nope, now Mega Man X5 is now my favorite Mega Man X Maverick. Favorite Mega Man X game. And no, the fact that the Mavericks are based off names after Guns N' Roses has nothing to do with it. I just really like X5 more than X4, but that's beside the point. First of all, check that design out. I mean, how can you deny a design like that? He's a robotic T-Rex with flames on his back. Oh god, oh my god, earned him a bonus on this list. His stage, on the other hand, while it is a good fire stage, there's just one problem I have with it, and that's that one section where the fire is coming towards off the screen and you have to hide in the black shades. You guys know what I'm talking about. That stage can really drive me nuts. However, in the later part, you really do get a cool, ride armor that, while you can go on the lava, while it's standing, you can go inside the volcano for some really cool, awesome, ride. The fight is also really good, too. What's really cool about Burn Dinorex is that his fight is pretty much unpredictable. He'll shoot out fireballs and charges, yeah, but for some real hardcore, not only will he try to do a flame charge, but he'll also leave pillars of fire rising the moment he leaves them. And I really like his weapon. A fireball that shoots out mini fireballs in both directions, that's really cool. Man. You know, if the meteor didn't hit the dinosaurs, he'd probably be the last man standing. Just in my case. Actually, no, that's terrible. I gotta come up with better jokes next time. Number 12, Neon Tiger from Megaman X3. Okay, this is a really weird thing to say, but for some reason, gamers kind of consider Neon Tiger to be the worst Maverick in X3. Really? In a game that has Volt Catfish, Gravity Beetle, and Tunnel Rhino, you think Neon Tiger's the worst? Oh man, well, I guess it's opinions, but for me, I really like Neon Tiger. I mean, look at that design. There's no way you can possibly screw up a design for a tiger. I mean, he has the claws, the tail, a lot of colors. It's awesome. His stage is really cool too, being set in a jungle forest. I mean, you get to ride on dragonflies, and the mini-boss for the most part is alright, but overall I find his stage to be really good. His fight, on the other hand, is anything but difficult. It's actually really easy, which doesn't make him go any higher, so that's why he's this low. All he just basically does is shoot out ray slashers, and if he tries to, well, he'll wall jump, and if you're at close range, he'll slash you, yeah, but Neon Tiger really doesn't use his claws that often. He only uses it for 2 attacks. Once for an invincible uppercut during the second half, and one where he'll just go down to the ground and immediately slash you. But his weapon does make up for it. The Ray Slasher is a really cool weapon, especially against, late game bosses. You just press the button and you see, like, Ray Splashes going all over the place. It's cool. I've always wondered why this guy doesn't become the Frosted Flakes Tiger. Seriously, he could give Tony a real competition. Number 11, Blizzard Wolfang from Mega Man X6. So yeah, as you kind of predicted, Blizzard Wolfang is my favorite Maverick in X6. However, before I go over the positives, I just want to get the negatives out of the way so I don't complain about them through this a moment. His stage is, while it is really creative, it is kind of cheap. I mean, you can't wall jump, the Reploids are kind of put in cheaply placed areas, and the ice physics kind of gets annoying after a while. And those ice blocks are really, really annoying. Like, it's creative, but not as creative as, say, good. I mean, again, his stage is creative, but it's just cheap as well. So after we got that out of the way, let's go talk about Blizzard Wolfang himself. Look at that design right there. I mean, a wolf is like one of my favorite animals to look at. They're just so cute, and they show humorship to the dog family. And Capcom really knew how to take a wolf and turn it into one badass robot wolf. Yeah. His fight is really cool too. Oh crap, I just did an ice joke. I did not mean to do the ice joke, I swear. Ugh. But what's really cool about the fight, he'll just basically pounce around, jump around, wall jumps-ish, and he'll just shoot ice balls, and pretty much that's it. I mean, it is really easy with the fire weapon, but good luck doing it with the Buster. That's where you're gonna need some skills. And his weapon is really nice, being used as a stepping stone if you want to reach higher places. So bonus points for a good weapon for Blizzard Wolfang, but his stage is the main reason why he doesn't make it to the top 10. If it was less cheap, he'd probably make it. Number 10, Slash Beast from Megaman X4. I kind of feel good and bad for placing Slash Beast this low on the list. Good because, well, I could think of 9 other Mavericks better than him, and bad because X4 is really considered to be a fan favorite, a bit overrated, and it's kind of sad for me how I have to put a Maverick from the fan favorite game this low on the list. Why is he so low? Well, I'll talk about that later. For now, let's talk about Slash Beast. As you can tell, his design is based off a lion, which I find really awesome, as always. His stage is really cool, taking place into a train, trying to blow up some carts. Oh my god, just so awesome. Makes you feel like a badass. Yeah. Unfortunately, his boss fight is really easy though. He just basically does like an upward kiss that shoot out Street Fighter like sonic booms, and tries to charge left and right during the second half, and tries to jump on your face. It's predictable and underwhelming. Yeah, this is what's starting to keep some of these Magnus from going any higher. But, like Blizzard Wolfang, his weapon does make up for it. The twin laser is an absolute must for speedrunners. Or at least for me. As you can guess by the weapon's name, it shoots out 2 laser beams in 2 directions. One diagonally up and one diagonally down. If I recommend a weapon using through the entire game, the twin laser is just for you. So, I would recommend going after Slash Beast if you do not want to go after Frost Walrus. Alright, coming in at number 9, we got Magnus Centipede from Megaman X2. Alright. As you can kind of guess by his name, Magnus Centipede is a hacker. Well, you probably wouldn't guess it first time playing, but anyways. But here's the really cool thing. Not only is he a hacker, he's also a ninja. So in other words, in a nutshell, he's a hacker ninja centipede. That is badass. And considering that he's a ninja automatically puts him on this list. After all, it is part of my username. Anyways, not only does Magnus Centipede have a slick design, but he also has a really cool weapon, the Magnet Mine. And trust me, when you get this weapon, you're going to need it against Crystal Snail. Believe me when I say you this, Crystal Snail without the Magnet Mine will be a nightmare for first-timers. Trust me, again, do not go to Crystal Snail stage without the Magnet Mine. Unfortunately, while I can accept that Magnus Centipede is like a ninja kind of guy, his stage does have based around ninja reflexes, but it can be cheap at times. I mean, you got the crusher blocks, the stealth part where you have to go into the shadows without looking at the spotlight, all that stuff, and it kind of gets annoying. But his boss fight is what makes up for it. Trust me, if you don't have this guy's weakness, he will be a nightmare, but in a good way. Because that tail is really overpowered. That can cause a lot of your health to disappear if it hits you. But if you do go with his weakness, then he's kind of easy. What he basically likes to do is teleport around the room and use the Magnet Mine, and also shoot out 3 shurikens. Wow, when I said that Magnus Centipede is a ninja, I wasn't kidding. He really is. But he's not the only ninja on this list. Foreshadowing. Number 8, Boomer Cooing from Megaman X1. Alright, now it's time that we hit the classic series, and we can't get much classicer than the original. So as you can see on the right side, that is Cooinger's design from the original, and on his design in the left, that is his design in the remake, that being Maverick Hunter X. Now what's really cool about Boomer Cooinger was, like I said, his design, and his stage is really cool too. Certainly not as cheap as the other Mavericks on the list from the previous channels. But anyways, what I really like about his stage is that it takes place in some sort of booming trap, which if you touch the lasers, then traps will appear. And I really like the conveyor belt part, despite having the instant kill spike crushers. There's even a section where you can actually wall climb to the on the outside on the wall, and that is so cool to do. The fight is also really fun. Like Magnus Centipede, he'll teleport around the room and he'll use his I don't know what those called, stingers. I'll just call them stingers. And he'll use the stingers like a boomerang, kind of like Cutman from Megaman 1. And his weapon is a really useful weapon too. For one thing, it picks up items like the magic cards from Megaman and Base. However, there's another thing. If by any chance the boomerang cutter comes back to you, you get its energy back. I really wish more boomerang related weapons were like this in future Mega Man games. Oh, did I also forget to mention that Boomer Cooing is Gravity Beetle's brother? Number 7, Axel Rat, aka Spike Rosehead from Mega Man X5. Why do so many plant-based plant-based things and whatever place bosses have to suck? You see, anything that's based on a plant or that resembles one isn't really good when it comes to gaming for boss battles, and the Mega Man X series does nothing to do it better. One is because they have an uninteresting stage, a useless weapon, a pathetic fight, or a terrible design. Only 2 Mavericks that weren't based on an animal have been done right. And one of them was from my favorite Mega Man X game, Mega Man X5. And who better off than to start with Axel the Red? I mean, just look at this guy for a moment. You cannot tell me that does not look awesome. I mean, the design is so cool. How can you deny a design like that? I mean, he's basically Plant Man if he was a 32-bit boss. Or an evolved form, or whatever. His stage is really awesome, despite having a lot of spikes. I mean, you can climb on the vines, it takes place in like a jungle setting, like many plants. It just is an awesome stage to go into. The fight is really cool too. I mean, for one thing, as you can see in this image right here, he wields a whip, kind of like Simon Belmont from the Castlevania games. He'll not only will he try to whip you like an ordinary whip, but he'll also try to use flower pebbles that when rained down on you can actually cause damage. He can also jump back and forth, but not too often, and he also has the ability to create his whip into a ball that can either go for you or bounce around the room and even create a clone of himself. But the reward is well worth it after the fight. The spike ball is what it seems, an explosive spike ball that, when you touch it, well, will explode. I mean, there is so much about Axel the Red, and heck, even one of my subscribers has his YouTube profile picture as Axel Rat. So in return, man, if you're listening to this, then voila, your Mavericks on this list, despite not being my favorite. Well, this memory isn't gonna hold up last, so I'm gonna cut it right here. Stay tuned for part 2 as I finish the list.